Now give you explain bracket installation of the instrument. Instruments have a bracket on both sides. To assemble the bracket, remove all the screws from it. After the 5 screws are removed, we can attach the bracket to it. Screw the hole to hole. Now assemble the handle of the instrument. Let's look behind the instrument first. These are the handle installation interface. Let's show you one before we install the handle. This red handle operates body parts. Then when installing the handle, see how many holes the handle joint belongs to. 4. Check again to see if this interface has full course. If so, install it. Look at the joint first when installing it. There's a notch here, and the notch is going to be at this point. And now plug it in. The nut can be tightened. The handle can be placed in these positions once it's attached. And then inside has 3 negative pressure heads. We can put it in first. Small negative pressure head, medium negative pressure head, large negative pressure head. All 3 negative pressure heads are on this side. Continue to install the rest of the handle. Now the RF head that operates the body and arms. It has the effect of losing weight and lifting skin. Pay attention to the joint when installing. 5 holes, then we'll stick it in the 5. The same handle is on this side. The fat-soluble head of the face. 3 car, then we'll stick it in. And put it here. This is the negative plate. The function of the negative plate is mainly to form a negative electrode. It belongs to the positive terminal when operating the RF head. The positive and negative electrodes generate heat when they are joined together. In all body heat to achieve the fat melting effect. The negative plate can be placed inside this slit. The joint is then fitted to the back of the instrument in the same way. It's to car, now plug it in. And when we plug it in, we'll look at the negative pressure tube. The negative pressure tube has 2 ends, but there is no distinction. Customers at the installation of the end of the instrument inserted in the bottom of the hole. Make sure the direction of the car is correct when inserting. Make sure you stick it in and stick it out. Then the other end of the tube can use the 3 negative pressure heads alternately. Use a small size if you're working on the cheeks. Use medium if it's body or arm. The tube can be used on larger areas like the belly and hips. Installation is also simple. Just align the holes and stick it in. When you stick it in, you stick it in. The installation is now complete. And the filter. The filter is mainly installed here in the instrument. The function of the filter is mainly to deal with the garbage sucked in by the negative pressure handle and store it in this strainer cup. So you have to install this filter during operation. Just install it in this way. If the inside of the filter is dirty, we can pull it out like this. Then open it up and clean up the mess. And then put it back together. Make sure you press it down when you put it back in. The ring acts as a seal. Let's plug it back in. The instrument is now installed. Let's look at what these buttons on the back of the device do. This is the air valve, mainly to adjust the pressure of the negative pressure handle. according to customer requirements to adjust. There are no specific requirements. And then here's the power switch button. Plug in the power cord and press the switch button to turn it on. Then let's look at the front of the instrument. Here is a power button. Power on the instrument, turn on the power switch. Then press this button to turn it on. Next, I will explain the operating interface of the instrument. Press the button to turn it on. And then we go into this and we click on it. Once inside, we can see that there are two functions to choose from. First, let's look at the right side. Look at the time when you come in. The time operation is determined by the size of the part operated. First, look at the minimum. The smallest operation on the chick is usually done in about 10 to 15 minutes. The second is to operate the arm. Set that time at about 20 to 25 minutes. 25 to 30 minutes for the body. There are no specific requirements. Customers can vary according to the part of the operation. Then the energy setting is recommended to start from the lowest gear. All 5 to 10. If it is the body, it is recommended to start with the 10th gear, and then slowly increase the energy to operate. The specific depends on the range of customers to bear. This is the start button. If the icon is moving with the time, it means that it is in the startup state. This is the stop button. After setting the power, click this to get started. Get the handle we want to operate. Now select the operating arm is handle for example. Click this button after setting the power. Remember to press the button on the gamepad first and then go to the screen and click the launch icon. When time is going, it is the state of work. If you want to pause, press the button on the handle to stop running. You can see that time doesn't go away now. If you want to reset, you can hit the reset key at the end. Energy and time are reset. This is the red controller interface operation. Let's look at the operation of another interface. Click back. This is the operating interface of the negative pressure handle. Now look at the operating temperature of this instrument. The temperature is generally set around 30 degrees. This is a real-time display of temperature. This set the temperature. This is going to slowly rise up to the temperature that we set. This range has a constant temperature effect. And that is work time. The working hours are similar to the clinical working hours of rat. It is also determined by the size of the operating part. And then there's the pattern. This mode is mainly a suction and release of this mode. There are 3 of them. Pattern A is usually chosen. If you want to inhale and release, you can choose other modes to operate it while being all comfortable. And then there's the start key, pause key. Again, this is the reset button. This is the interface operation of the negative pressure handle. Clinical procedure today. First, we run the face test. The evaluation needs to be operated in conjunction with this negative pad. Negative pad we attach to the client's back. Because it is smooth, let the client lie down and stick. Now operate the RF of the face. Then set the energy and clinical time before the operation. Once that's all set up, just click Start. Let's take a look at the RF head. The radio frequency head that has not been removed is covered with plastic wrap on the probe, and customers can tear it off. It needs to be operated with gel. Let's apply the gel first. Now the clinical display is on half of the face. This is where the device is switched off. Apply the gel to the top of your cheeks. It would be best if the customer had a brush. This will allow you to brush evenly with a bristle brush. When it's smooth, we start the instrument. Remember that the handle operation cannot stay in one place. Move slowly. It can be matched with a circular maneuver or a lifting maneuver. Just like this. Pull from the control ball and then pull to the side of the corner of the eye. And then there's the side of the nose, pulling out to the corner of the eye. When operating the RF, ask the customer if there is metal implanted in the body, or whether you wear metal objects on your hands. If there is, it is not allowed to operate. Next, operate the body's RF head. Work with the fat on the side of the abdomen. Then apply the gel to the manipulation area. In the same operation, the negative plate also needs to be attached to the back of the customer's body. Make sure it's not how you burn the client. Apply the gel in the same way, then start again to perform an operation. Start by spreading it evenly. Then set the temperature needed for the job. Try to start with a single number first. It's the energy of 405 that starts the test. If the customer can accept the range, we'll go up. Slowly increase the power to operate. Notice that the energy time and choose the working head. This is the largest body head. Then press this button. Always remember to press the button on the gamepad first and then go to the screen to start. Close to the skin. After operating the red head, operate the negative pressure head. Negative pressure head, select the second interface. Come in and select the corresponding probe. This is the largest size. Plug it in and set a temperature to operate. Start at 40 degrees Celsius. If the temperature gets too high, we'll come back down. The temperature is gradually raised. Clinical time. Now the abdominal mode is selected mode A. Now click Open. When we operate, we can first feel this negative pressure on our own hands. If the negative pressure is acceptable, we will give the customer the operation. Now the negative pressure is relatively strong. According to the previous introduction, from the back knob to control the size of the suction. or just after the operation. After the adjustment, you can start to operate. It is best to apply essential oil to the parts during operation. Do not apply the gel again, because the gel is thicker. It's got negative pressure on it, and if you suck it in, it could clog the handle. It's harder to clean later. When we're done, we wipe off any gel or essential oil left around the handle. Essential oils are a little harder to clean. It is recommended that the customer rub it with alcohol, and that there's a negative pressure cotton in there. There's a filter plug in here. The main filter plug is there to filter out some dirty things. For example, the oil that comes in when it's filtered out of this filter doesn't go straight into the pump. So it's safer to have this thing round. After cleaning it, it's ready.